Welcome to Pack Talk Podcast, episode 123. Today we're talking about some dog trainers' crate training secrets. How to train your dog to a crate, how to crate train your dog. We got people that have puppies that need to learn how to be in a crate. We've got people with adult dogs that need to learn how to be in a crate. We've got people with some dogs with a bad history of being in a crate. And we have to train that dog to be in a crate calmly.
Yeah.
But before we go into today's topic, just want to reach out to you listening real quick. First of all, hope you're enjoying the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
We appreciate your support. With most of our episodes, and I say most, I try to get right to the point.
Yeah.
I try to get you the information at hand. I try to not waste your time.
Get us to the meat.
Most of the time. Sometimes there's some fluff in there, right?
Right.
Sometimes there's some BS, and depending on what's going on.
Depending on who's on.
Depending on who's sitting here with me, you know?
Yeah.
But if you like the podcast, please go to your podcast listening platform of choice. Leave us a 5-star review. That helps us get the information out to new people. And it tells us that we're doing the right thing. If there is something that you think we could do better on, please send us a message, send us a DM, send us an email, send us a text, whatever your preference is, okay? So today we need to know, why do you need to train your dog to a crate? So what we're going to do, we're going to talk about the background behind the crate. We're going to talk about steps to take to train your dog to a crate. And finally, we're going to talk about some techniques you can use to train a problem dog to a crate. And when I say problem dog, I mean a dog that has problems with the crate. This is typically going to be, anxiety. This could be reactivity, could be insecurity. These are probably going to be your top hitters for a dog that has a problem to a crate. We've trained a lot of dogs here at Canine Revolution Dog Training that have a really bad history to the crate. We have to rehabilitate that. So we're going to talk about some techniques you can use at home to do that. But first, we want to understand that a crate should never be a punishment to a dog. There are some myths out there where people are saying, hey, take your dog, shove him into a crate if you're not happy with him. One thing about that, the crate can be used as a management tool, but you got to keep your energy neutral. You got to keep it balanced. So you never want to be in an angry energy state. Grab your dog, shove him into a crate. That's not going to help you, not going to help your dog, not going to help your dog's association to the crate.
Yeah.
So you want to keep a good, balanced energy state, and that's something that dogs do for us. They teach us how to keep our energy good to go, right? Because if we want the best for our dog, we want the best for our family, we want the best for our pack, we have to learn to be a firm and stable leader, right? So
Very
you got to
true.
get rid of your frustrated energy. You got to get rid of your anger, all this kind of stuff. You got to maintain good, balanced energy. Our dogs help us with that.
Wow. Put it in a book.
Just saying, dude. So we don't want to use the crate as a punishment. The crate should be a safe space for our dog. So I'll just tell you about one of my dogs in particular. Her name's Georgia. She's a Doberman Pinscher. The crate is her safe space, right? She goes in there. She chooses to go in there. She's got a nice bed in there. She's got a little blankie in there.
Oh, yeah.
Because she likes laying on cushion.
Yeah.
Right. And I always put a Primo pad in my kennels, my crates. And we'll talk about that here in the future. But, she chooses to go there on her own. She chooses to hang out in there on her own. Whenever I put her in there, no big deal. She's hanging out. She's sleeping. She's resting. You take her out. Boom. She's ready to go.
Yeah.
Right. So that's a great example of a safe space for a dog. I can leave that crate door open. She can go in and out as she wants to. But when she rests, she likes going to her crate to rest. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So a crate should be a safe space for your dog. A crate should be used to provide management for your dog. What this means is you need to manage your dog when you're potty training them. You can use your crate, right? You need to manage your dog when you're having people come over to the house. Maybe you're working on their behaviors of people coming in and out of the house. Use a crate, right, to manage them. We got Amazon delivery coming. We can use our crate to manage our dog. We got Christmas morning. Everyone's going crazy. right? We can use a crate. We got New Year's Eve parties going on. People stay up late for New Year's Eve.
Oh, yeah. People have parties at their house.
Right. We can use a crate.
Definitely.
You got 4th of July.
Oh, yeah.
4th of July gets a little wild. You can use a crate.
Yeah.
Right. All these are good examples of how you could use a crate. Also, when you travel, if you're like me, when you travel, you like to take your dogs with you.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't just let your dog not be in a crate when you're in a hotel or when you're in an Airbnb, these kind of things. So having your dog used to a crate, having it be their safe place, having it be a good management tool, this helps you when you need it in those specific situations. So these are all good reasons why we want to teach our dog to be good in a crate, to have a safe place in a crate, to be calm in a crate, and then maintain that for the dog's life. So what we don't want to do is use it when they're a puppy, then stop using it. We got to maintain using it, right?
Yeah, for sure.
We want to provide structure to our dog with a crate. This is, just another way of managing them. Also, when we're doing potty training, providing structure to them, that's going to be critical. A lot of people struggle with potty training, right? A lot of people are annoyed with potty training.
Mm-hmm.
You can make it simple for yourself.
Yeah.
Use it. Make it simple. Have structure with your crate.
Mm-hmm.
Have a good schedule, right?
Yeah.
That's a topic for a different day, though, which we did in episode 2 as well.
Yeah, we got the potty training episode.
That's always in the top 5.
Oh, yeah.
Top 5 podcast of all time is the potty training episode.
Big topic.
And if you watch the video of that one, I had some crazy hair back then, too. All right. A crate also provides a den for a dog, and we know that the dog's ancestor is the wolf. So what this is doing is it's mimicking the den that the dog's ancestors use in the wild. It allows us to tap into our dog's natural pack instincts with that den mentality. So another good reason to be using a crate. Okay. If we can properly crate train our dog, it allows us to enable calmness and also reduce anxieties in our dog. So to reduce anxieties, for example, let's say you have a dog that gets a little bit anxious with 4th of July fireworks or New Year's Eve fireworks.
Mm-hmm.
If we've done proper crate training, our dog knows it's their safe place. They know it's their den. They feel calm in there. Anything that would increase their anxiety, you put them in the crate, boom, that's helping them stay calmer, right? Helping them stay neutral, helping them to not get anxious. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So good to go with all that. So let's talk about some steps to crate training. All right. What are the actual steps we're going to take?
Let's get into it.
So I want you to think of the crate as just another behavior that you're teaching your dog. So just like we teach our dog to sit, just like we teach our dog to stay, just like we teach our dog to come, we're going to take the same process in teaching the crate, which we've gone through this process before in our other podcasts. We're going to go through it again today, but we're going to specify it toward the crate specifically. So when you're getting ready to do your crate training, you need to have your training equipment ready first. You ain't going to do your training without proper equipment.
Of course.
Right? So you're going to have, preferably, bait bag with food rewards that your dog likes.
Hot dogs.
Yes.
Chopped up hot dogs, steak. My dogs just straight up eat kibble.
Yeah.
They'll just take the kibble as a reward because they just like food.
Yeah, 100%. Whatever your dog likes. But
Yeah.
I go to a lot of people's houses for their sessions. Or if I'm doing private lessons with somebody, I go to their house. Their dog loves me because I got good food rewards.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They got some kind of, they purchased some kind of gimmicky food reward, peanut butter this or whatever.
It's all sloppy and messy.
Well, it's not, it's like hard,
Oh, the little
It's
peanut
just
butter
like peanut butter
things.
flavored,
Yeah.
or it's got all these different ingredients in it. Get you a hot dog. Dehydrate it, good to go.
Can't beat a hot dog. I mean, that's the easiest one, and it's probably the cheapest one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's cheap. It's easy to get. You could get those liver treats,
Yeah.
You could get steak, like you said, cut it up.
That's super expensive.
I used to go to the food line.
Yeah.
I used to go to the food line, and I'd go, and they used to have, like, basically, it's not like expensive steak.
Yeah, the super cheap ones.
Yeah, it's like super cheap. They would
Yeah.
just cut it up. It's like parts of steak people didn't want.
Yeah.
They put it into this little package. I used to buy that. It was super cheap.
Yeah.
Then I used to take it home. I used to, like, roast it a little bit so it's slightly cooked.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, dogs were tearing that
Oh
up.
yeah, they'll start following you around the house. They won't leave you alone.
I mean, you could also get ground beef.
Yeah.
Cook a little ground beef, chop it up so it's nice and small. You got lots of options.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of options. So you can get food. You want to have your bait bag. You want to have your food rewards. You want to have a leash. I like a 6-foot leash. You want to have a training collar. That would, ideally for us, we like using a Fur Saver training collar or a martingale collar. And then we want to have a crate itself, right? You ain't going to do crate training without a crate, right?
Of course, yeah.
So for the crate itself, my preference is I like a Midwest Life Stages crate. You can get that on Amazon. Just type in Midwest Life Stages. I like getting the single door, and it comes with a divider. So if I'm doing potty training, I can easily manipulate the space that's available in that crate for the potty training. You can get this on Amazon. They deliver it in a couple days. You ain't going to get better than that.
Hey, easy.
And also, real quick, while you're on Amazon, just type in Canine Revolution Apparel. Grab you a good to go shirt. Grab you a good to go hoodie. Grab you a good to go beanie.
Coffee mug.
Grab you a coffee mug. Grab you a water bottle. Grab you a Canine Revolution hoodie or something, So just grab that real quick.
Yeah. Put it in the cart.
Right. Put it in the cart. Get that with your Midwest crate.
Yeah.
Right.
Order it all together. Ship
Exactly.
directly to you.
If you don't like Amazon, you go to your local pet store. They're not going to have the Midwest Life Stages crate, most likely. But what they will have usually is a Kong crate. I do like the Kong crates if I can't get a Midwest Life Stages.
Yeah.
They're pretty durable. They're good to go. Kong is a reputable brand.
Yeah.
And so that's what I go with, either the Midwest Life Stages or the Kong. I prefer a single door crate instead of a double door, just because that secondary door, sometimes it pops open.
Yeah.
Sometimes it rattles a lot. I just like the single door with the divider.
Yeah.
What I do specifically myself with the crates is I go to primopad.com. I'll get a Primo pad that's specifically fitted to that crate. Like, you select the size, and sometimes you need to measure out your crate in case it's a little bit different size than the usual. But what this is it's a durable, basically memory foam pad. So it's like a dog bed, but it's durable. It's nice and slim, fits in the bottom of the crate. Your dog can lay on that. It'll be comfy for them. Nothing crazy, right? It is coated in like a vinyl. That way it's easy to clean. So if you're potty training, this is a great thing to have in your crate.
Yeah.
But what I do with my dogs is I have the Primo pad in there. Then I add a little blanket in there as well, so it has some extra cushion. They can move that blanket around as they want to and adjust it how they want to. But if I have a dog that's chewing on the blanket, I won't let them have the blanket, obviously.
Yeah,
but the Primo pad's hard to chew on.
Yeah. I've been down the blanket road before. It's a good way to lose a couple blankets.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So once you get your crate, once you have all your training equipment ready, now you're ready to start training. So now we're good to go. Right?
Finally.
All right, so the first thing we need to do, we want to build up a positive association to the crate. Don't overcomplicate this. So what you do is you make sure you have food rewards that your dog likes. So make sure you figure that out before you start introducing the crate.
Yeah.
What I recommend, you set up the crate in your house, wherever you're normally going to keep it. Open that door up, and the first thing I do, I'll put the leash on my dog. Maybe I'll be holding it. Maybe I'll let them drag it around. It kind of depends. First thing I want to do, if I can, is free shape that crate. What that means is I'm letting that dog make decisions that work toward our goal, and I reward the dog for the decisions that are beneficial. So for example, if I have the crate there, the door is open, and my dog goes over to investigate that crate at all, show it any type of attention, I say good, I give him a reward, or I say good and I toss a piece of food into the crate. Then the dog can go into the crate, eat it, then they can come out. There's no requirement to stay in the crate right now. All we're doing is building a positive association to being around the crate, showing any interest in the crate, right?
Cool.
So whether you have an adult dog or a puppy, you can do this the same way. You got the crate there. You're free shaping this, meaning your dog's making decisions. You're rewarding them for decisions that are beneficial toward your goal. Your dog looks at the crate, good, reward. Your dog sniffs the crate, good, reward. Your dog walks around the crate, good, reward, right? Just have a good time with it. Don't make this too complicated. Keep the session short so your dog's having a good time, enjoying it, and then go from there, right? Another thing we can do to help build up a positive association is luring. So luring means I put a piece of food in my hand. I start moving my hand. My dog's following my hand around. So they're following a piece of food in my hand. So I can lure them around the crate. I can lure them toward the crate. I can lure them into and out of the crate. And so anytime, again, I'm doing this and my dog's staying with the lure and I'm getting them closer to that crate or closer around the crate, I'm just going to say good and reward them as we do this. So We got our free shaping. We got our luring. Again, anything our dog's doing that helps build an association to the crate, we say good, we reward them, right? Now with the luring and the free shaping, as time goes on, you got to be careful about this. As time goes on, you're going to slowly increase the criteria to access the reward. So at first, you're making it super easy for them. They can have a reward for just looking at the crate, being around the crate, following you around the crate, whatever. But now you're slowly increasing the criteria to access reward. So maybe it's instead of looking at the crate, you have to step toward it. Maybe it's just from sniffing the crate, you have to step into it, right? These kind of things. Maybe if they were stepping into the crate, now they have to get their whole body into the crate.
Yeah.
So you got to figure out, based on what you're doing, how you're going to slowly increase criteria for reward. And the rule of thumb is once your dog shows that they are comfortable with whatever your current criteria is, maybe it's just stepping into the crate. Once they're comfortable stepping in, stepping out, stepping in, stepping out, that's super easy for them. Now maybe they have to get their whole body in there.
Yeah.
So you might have to throw a piece of food in there. You might have to lure them in. Maybe they're making that decision on their own. You're gonna figure that out specifically for you and your dog and slowly increase criteria as the time goes on.
Yeah.
Now, something else we like to do kind of in combination with it, and you can do all these in combination. You can free shape and lure at the same time. But the other thing we like doing is crate games. So we make games out of it, right?
Yeah.
So we toss a piece of food into the crate. The dog runs in there. They get the food. You call them out. They come out. You reward them for coming out, right? You have the dog go in there, stay in there for a second. You call them out. They come out. You reward them. So you're just going to make little exciting activities out of the crate, around the crate, things like this, right? So again, we can use all these in combination. I can free shape, I can lure, I can play games, all the above. Something else I recommend to help build this positive association, feed them their food in the crate.
Oh, yeah.
So whenever it's mealtime, take that bowl of food, walk over to their crate, put the bowl in there. Even if they're only halfway in at first, that's fine. Again, we'll increase criteria as time goes on. So if they're halfway in at first, as time goes on, they got to be all the way in there, right?
Yeah.
And if you're leaving that door open while they're doing this, just leave the leash on them, right? That way you can guide them if you need to. And once you get to the point where they're comfortable being in there and closing the door, now you can start taking the leash off, right?
Yeah.
So all these things in combination, they help us, right? Build that positive association. So what I need to do as I increase criteria for the crate and the association to the crate is I need to be thinking about how am I going to build up duration of being in the crate. So first they just step in, they step out, whatever, I'm rewarding that.
Yeah.
Then they get their whole body in, their whole body comes out, good to go, I'm rewarding that.
Right.
They're eating their food in the crate, then I let them out, good to go, I'm rewarding that. But at a certain point, my criteria is going to have to be, you got to stay in there for 5 minutes. You got to stay in there for 10 minutes. You got to stay in there for 15 minutes until you build it up to where they're in there for however long they need to be in there and they're fine.
Yeah.
Right? So you're building up to that criteria, but you always got to be thinking, I got to increase duration. I got to increase duration. Because just like when we're training a muzzle, just like when we're training a stay, just like when we're training a place or a spot command, they gotta be good to go with that, right? So over time, that duration has to be solidified. And the way you build up duration is like, let's say some dogs, they just naturally, it's no problem. Duration, you start working on that, they get it, right? Some dogs, they want to push you a little bit. They want to fight back a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
So when they do that, you got to focus on how do I actually build up duration? Well, that's simply an interval of time, right? So when you start working on duration, you have a very short interval of time, then you reward them. And you could reward them with food. You could reward them by letting them out of the crate, because coming out of the crate could be a self-reinforcing behavior. They feel good, right?
Yeah.
So either or. So you have a short interval of time, and then as time goes on, you slowly increase that interval of time. So let's say at first it was like 10 seconds, then you go to 20 seconds, then you go to 30 seconds, then you work your way up to 60 seconds, right?
Yeah.
So you keep working that up until your duration's longer between your interval of rewards, and then at a certain point, you're going to slowly reduce the amount of rewards that you're using.
Yeah.
And when I talk about rewarding, when I talk about food this, food that, a lot of people get up in arms. They're like, oh, they won't do that without food, right? Blah, blah, blah. Well, they will. You got to teach them not to. You got to fade out that food. You got to start systematically, scientifically removing that food, but it's good to be using it first in your training because that's how you're building up positive associations. That's how you're building up behaviors. You know what I'm saying? All these people are like, oh, they won't do that without food. I'm like, you don't get it.
It's in the comments all the time.
Right. It's like you don't understand the training. You don't understand science. You don't have the big picture in mind. You got to have the big picture in mind, right?
I mean, the big one is, at least for me, is feeding in the kennel, or in the crate, sorry, is that, I don't know, that just reinforces the positive nature of it, I feel like. Like, tenfold, whatever you want to say, because after them eating their meal in the crate for so long, they're just like, I feel like they don't even have that bad of association with it. Right. You know?
If you do what we're talking about, they like being in there.
Yeah.
Because you're focused on building the positive association first.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so it's just a game changer long term,
right?
You know, on top of the stuff we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
You know.
And I even recommend long term keep feeding them in the kennel.
Yeah, my dog's 8 years old and I've only fed her in her kennel.
Yeah.
Or in her crate, whatever you want to call it.
Well, when it's dinner time, they know they start walking.
Yeah, she'll
over
go
there,
to it and run in there, you know, waiting for she'll wait for 20 minutes, you know. So she'll just sit in there wait for me to come to her, you know. So
the benefits of enjoying the crate, right?
Yeah.
The dog liking their crate.
Yeah.
So good to go. All right, so once we have a positive association to the crate, the next thing we need to do is put a cue on it, which means if we say crate or kennel or, you know, go to your den,
right,
whatever you're going to use, some kind of cue, that is going to signal to your dog to go to their crate, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to add this cue in as you keep doing all your positive association stuff. So, like, let's say you're luring your dog, you can say crate, lure them there.
Yeah.
They start to associate that word means go to that location.
Yeah.
Right? Or right before you feed them. Let's say you got your bowl of food, crate, you walk them over there, you put the food in there. Now they go right in there. You'll see over time they're conditioned to, when they hear that cue, when they hear that word, that means go to your crate, right? And then we're continuing our positive association work. So that's a pretty simple step. Once your dog shows comfort going to the crate, you can start doing that. Add your cue in.
I mean, I would literally do things like whenever I first had, you know, brought my first dog Jojo into my house, and then for my puppy later on, once I got him familiar with the crate, I would literally do training games to where once they learned where it was in the house, I would show them on leash, you know, and reward them along the way and stuff. I would add the command, go crate, go kennel, whatever.
Yeah.
Then I would go take the leash off. Then I would tell them to do it, and I'd let them figure it out because, like, they know they're going to get a reward. So they would, like, go halfway and then stare at me.
Yeah.
Or go take a couple steps and then look back at me.
Yeah.
You know, they're trying to figure it out in their brain.
Right.
And so I would kind of like try and help them get there. But then I got to a point of where anytime I said it, they would run, you know, even if it's across the house or wherever it is, they would run all the way there to it. Once they get inside the crate, I can hear them go in it or I can see them go in it. Then I would just be like, give them the yes marker.
Yeah.
So then they just come running out to me for the reward.
Yeah.
And you do that a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And that's another great way to reinforce that behavior.
Yeah.
You know, just making it a game, you know.
For sure. For sure. And they have a good time when they're doing that too.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
All right. The third step here is going to be just like with any of our other behaviors. At a certain point, we're going to have to teach them that, hey, there is going to be accountability if you disobey this cue. Right? We have the behavior built up. We have the positive association. So now we're adding in accountability. So if you say crate and your dog's not going there, now you have to teach them that when they hear that cue, that it's required to go there. So we recommend using the leash first for this, you know, simple way to do this. You say crate, your dog's not going, just grab your leash, say no, give a little tug, walk them over to their crate, they'll jump in there, say good, reward them. We do like rewarding as we're teaching accountability because it helps keep all the associations correct, right? A lot of people are confused. Hey, if I'm teaching my dog accountability, I can't reward them. That's not true because your dog is you're marking behavior in the moment. So if you say crate, they don't go to their crate, you say no, tug on the leash, walk them to their crate. You said no the moment they disobeyed you. You issued your accountability. Now they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. You say good, you reward. You're saying good, marking that moment in time to them when they did what they're supposed to do, right? Mm-hmm. So it's two separate things in the dog's brain, and the fact that you're rewarding after they're held accountable teaches them, like, hey, this is not me versus you thing. We're still being respectful, and accountability is just something that happens, right? There's nothing negative to it, right?
Yeah.
It's just, a way that we're communicating. So we recommend using a leash first, just the way I said. Say no, little tug on the leash, then you guide them, walk them to their crate. They go in there, good, reward them, good to go.
Yeah.
No factor. If you're going to use a remote collar, we'll layer that in later after we do our remote collar conditioning separately away from the crate, but it's the same thing. Once the dog's familiar with leash accountability, if we're on a remote collar, all we do, we say crate, the dog doesn't go to their crate. We say no, we bump on the remote collar. Now we guide them to their crate to make sure they know what to do. So let's say, you say crate, your dog doesn't go to the crate. You would say no, you would issue your accountability, make sure they go to the crate. But if your dog's in the crate already and they're supposed to stay there, the crate door is open, and they decide to come out prematurely before you said it was okay to come out, in that situation, you're also going to say no, issue accountability, then have them go right back into the crate, right? So those are the two main things with the crate that you're going to be issuing accountability for. The other way you could use accountability with a crate, once you have it done with the ways we talked about, they have to go to the crate and then don't come out of the crate prematurely. But let's say you have a dog that's in the crate and it's freaking amping itself up for whatever reason. It's getting anxious, right? It's being disrespectful to the crate, pushing on the sides of the crate or shoving their nose at the crate or whatever. You can hold them accountable for that as well once you've gone through all these other steps. And for that, you would just say no. You would issue your accountability. Once they calm, you would say good. You would reward, right? So those are the main things with the crate where you're going to be using accountability if you need to, right? Now, at a certain point, you need to make sure your dog understands it properly. So you do need to make sure it's part of your training with your crate, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of the progression for the crate. Take your time with it. Where most people get stuck is where they're working on duration.
Mm-hmm.
They get stuck on this with the crate. They get stuck on this with the place or the spot. They get stuck on this with the stay.
Mm-hmm.
Duration is the hard part for most people.
Yeah.
Because you got people that are hesitant. They don't know if their dog's ready to hold things for longer periods of time. Maybe the dog's fighting them a little bit, pushing them hard on those boundaries. Some dogs will do that.
Mm-hmm.
You got to stay consistent. You got to stay firm. That way your dog understands, oh, this is something that we're going to be doing, right? Mm-hmm. And keep in mind, long term, this is healthy for your dog. It's good for your dog to get this done, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now that we've talked about the steps to crate training, let's talk about some techniques for problem dogs. And again, when I say problem dog, I mean a dog that has problems with the crate. This could be excessive anxiety. This could be insecurity. This could be a reactivity. This is most likely going to be from dogs that haven't used a crate through their early life. Could be from dogs that have some kind of history with the crate for whatever reason. And all these are basically just associations. So if a dog has a problem with the crate, it's an association to the crate. We got to change that association. So we would essentially want to follow the same steps we just talked about, but with this dog with this background and this problem with the crate, this association, it's going to be more challenging. So I have two main techniques that I would recommend for people at home doing this to help in addition to the steps we already talked about. One is going to be pre-exhaustion. So you ever go to the gym and you're like, pre-exhausting a particular muscle before you do like something serious with it? Have you done that technique?
You mean warm it up?
I'm talking about pre-exhaust.
I guess not.
Are you serious, dude?
I just go and work out, bro.
Well, that's a technique. It's a technique.
Yeah.
Right? Pre-exhaust is, let's say you're doing bench press and you want your chest to be more involved in the bench press, not your triceps.
Mm-hmm.
You would pre-exhaust your triceps. So you would do some tricep presses or whatever to fatigue that muscle a little bit. That way when you go to the bench press, your triceps are not able to assist as much, therefore making your chest work more.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
You know what I'm
Science.
saying? Yeah. So anyway, Pre-exhaustion, or if you know, back in the day when you were in college, you heard of pre-gaming.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Now you're talking my language. Yeah.
You know what pre-gaming is?
Oh, yeah. Pre-game the party.
You're going to the football game, you decide to pre-game the football game, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to a party, you pre-game the party with some Jello shots or something, you know?
That's your specialty right there.
You need to make some JockoFuel Jello shots.
Now we're talking.
That'd be good to go.
Yeah.
So anyway, pre-exhaustion in regards to crate training, your dog has a bunch of energy, right? So let's say you have a dog that gets anxious about the crate. When they get in the presence of that crate, they're going to have excessive energy. So your goal with pre-exhaustion is to kind of lower their energy state, which lowers their ability to put extra energy into anxiety or reactivity or whatever they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're about to do your crate training, before that, you pre-exhaust them. So taking a couple walks, and most dogs that need this, it's more than one walk, it's a couple walks.
Yeah.
You might need to do a bike ride, you might need to play fetch or something. You got to do something that's going to pre-exhaust them. But you don't want to exhaust them too much, because you still want them to participate in crate games and luring and free shaping. So you're just kind of taking the edge off. So what I've done in the past is I've done like a 20-minute walk, take a quick break, another 20-minute walk. You know, so like a little interval of walking, right, at a brisk pace. Same thing with a bike ride. You know, short bike ride, take a break, another bike ride, something like that.
Yeah.
The goal is just to pre-exhaust them so they don't have that excessive energy. Their energy state's more balanced. Now they can participate in your positive association work without getting that energy edge to them where it makes them go into that anxious or reactive mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Going to be dog dependent. Some dogs are going to need more or less pre-exhaustion than others.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Your second technique is going to be that the crate is a resting place, and the crate is the only resting place. This is a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
Because you got to kind of ensure this is happening.
Mm-hmm.
So you go on a walk with your dog. When they come back from the walk, instead of hanging out on the floor or on the couch or in the bed, you put them in their crate, right? You might have to ensure this is happening a little bit. This is usually if your dog's fighting you on the positive association work, maybe they don't want to participate, or they'll participate to a certain degree. This is one of those cases where you got to make it happen. So you get your dog in the crate, you close the door, you have them remain in there, right? But before you do that, you basically will pre-exhaust or exercise them to the point where they're ready to rest.
Yeah.
So you exercise them, maybe it's a couple intervals of something. You don't let them rest in the house. You take them right to their crate. You make sure they rest in the crate.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout the day, if you see them trying to rest somewhere, you got to take them to the crate and let them rest in there. So it's essentially making an association to the crate just a different way.
Yeah.
So because they want to rest, they want to hang out, but in order to earn the normal resting places or the hangout places, first they have to show that they're comfortable hanging out in the crate.
Yeah.
So this can be a little bit difficult to do for a lot of people. Excuse me, but it does work.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because
So
you have to be very on top.
You got to be firm with it.
Yeah, you got to
right?
be firm.
You got to be that.
Feel bad.
Right. You got to be that firm, fair parent. Essentially, make sure that they go in there. Make sure they rest in there.
Yeah.
Right. So that is a little bit more challenging, but it does pay off. It does really make a difference. Right. And then if they show you that they're resting in there, then they can come out. Right.
Right.
But I've done this before. It takes a couple days typically where you're exercising them. You take them right to the crate. You're teaching them that's where they rest at.
Yeah.
Making sure. The other thing I do too is feeding them in the crate as well. Just like we already talked about. But they're getting their food in there. I make the water only available in the crate.
Yeah.
And the crate's a resting place.
Yeah.
And that'll really curb a lot of dogs that are having problems to changing their association with the crate. But you got to think, dogs in this situation, they've had a bad background. They've had bad history. So, they're fighting a lot of that history they have with the crate. So this takes time. It's not going to be a quick thing. So rehabilitating those things takes time. You got to understand that. You got to be okay with that.
Yeah.
Right. But again, be that firm parent. You're helping them get to a better place, and it's going to make them healthier, safer in the long run.
Yeah.
So good to go. But that's the secrets on crate training.
Yeah, that's some good tips.
Just the secrets.
Some good tips. Yeah, hey.
Secrets.
People who are struggling with crate training, they won't get to the point you will because you listen to this podcast.
Exactly. If you're a listener, you know the deal.
Also, spread the word.
Spread the word.
Yeah.
Leave that review. But, some other things that popped in my head real quick, that I've seen in the past. We've got dogs that they're so anxious, they're spinning around in the crate.
Destroying the tray.
Right. One of the things you can do for that is use your divider to kind of make that crate smaller so they don't have as much room to spin around. They got to learn to stop doing that, right? Whatever your dog practices is what they're going to keep doing. Spinning around is anxiety. It's an anxious behavior. They keep spinning. You're letting them be anxious. That's an unhealthy mindset. So by reducing the space in the crate, getting them to be comfortable in there, they can get more space later once they show that they're reducing that anxious mindset, right?
Yeah.
If you guys, can you hear the chirping in the background?
Not really.
So if you hear some chirping noises in the background, that's our guinea flock.
Guinea just pulled up on us.
Guinea fowl flock. Yep, they're over here. They're hanging out.
Squeaking.
And if you want some guinea fowl attire, apparel, you go to Canine Revolution Apparel on Amazon. You get you a guinea shirt, dude. You need guineas. Everyone should have a good guinea.
Oh,
right?
Oh, you got multiple. They're closing in on us now. You can probably hear them now. They just came right up to the table.
Mm-hmm.
See them in the camera, too. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see them walking right behind Chad.
Oh, yeah, they're hanging out.
Doing their job.
All right, so that's our discussion on secrets of crate training. Implement it. Let us know what you think. Share this with somebody that needs this. If you're working or volunteering at a rescue or a shelter, you might find this useful with dogs that are there, right, that have some bad histories and need some rehabilitation. So take it, apply it, be good to go, right? Real quick, our affiliates. We've got Canine Revolution Dog Training. You can text us 843-213-2676. You can email us info@caninerevolutiondogtraining.com. We've got locations in South Carolina and Texas. We can support you from wherever you're at in the country. You can get your dogs to us. We work with individuals and companies that basically they have a van they drive around. We can help link you up with one of them to transport dogs around. So it'd be good to go with that. We've got board and train programs. We've got private lesson programs. We've got virtual lesson programs. We've got consulting. If you're a dog trainer, you need some consulting, we can do that with you as well. We got some new programs releasing in 2025, which this podcast will be, released in 2025.
Let's see.
This will be released.
Upcoming week is, it'd be the first week of January, yeah.
So we got some new programs rolling out. Good to freaking go, dude.
Hell yeah.
We've got Canine Revolution Apparel, like we've talked about, on Amazon. So you go to Amazon, you type in Canine Revolution Apparel, get you a mug, get you a water bottle, get you a hoodie, get you a shirt, whatever you need, and be good to go, right?
Hell
Support.
Yeah.
We've got our affiliate, We Feed Raw, optimal diet for your dog, raw food for your dog, right? You want to get that real positive association to the crate? Put that We Feed Raw in your food bowl, put it in the freaking crate. Your dog's good to go.
Oh, you'll crate train with
And
some
they're
We Feed
optimized.
Raw.
Yeah.
You put the We Feed Raw in there, your dog will pick up the crate real quick.
Oh, yeah. Well, We Feed Raw also on the website has those, they've got like bison chips and pork chips.
Oh, yeah. I gave some to my dog.
Yeah.
I did the pork chips.
Yeah, you can take those. You can break them up, too, in little pieces. Use that for your training. Or you can give them the whole chip.
That's a good idea, actually.
You can give them the whole chip. Like your dog, JoJo, would just wolf down a chip real quick.
She would, but I would break them up.
Yeah.
I would use them as a training treat.
So, WeFeedRaw.com, discount code, Canine Revolution, all caps, no spaces. That gets you 25% off your first meal plan. Unfortunately, it doesn't work for the buffalo or pork chips. It doesn't work for the boxes. Tried to get them to do that. They wouldn't do it, right?
Yeah, well, we tried.
I was like, hey, JockoFuel does this. They're like, nope, first meal plan only. I'm like, all right, well, it's better than nothing. So you can try it out. You can cancel a meal plan if you don't like it, but you will like it. Your dog will like it.
Oh, yeah.
Be good to go. Also, with the raw diet, you got some budgetary concerns. So it is a little bit more expensive than kibble. So if you can, get your kibble base, add the raw on top of that as a topper. You're going to see health benefits from that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking at a recent study. They were studying at dogs that were living to 16, 17 plus years old. They found one of the key factors of that, number one, is proper exercise, which we already talked about. in a previous episode, right?
Yeah.
But also dogs that were fed non-kibble diets, which is what Dr. Timmerman talked about.
Yeah.
But that could be raw food. It could be adding in some supplemental food like sardines, adding in some ground beef, adding in other things. But, kibble, you add something in other than kibble, some kind of whole food that's designed for the dog, right? Dogs are carnivores.
Yeah.
So they will eat carrots and stuff, right?
Grass.
Some dogs will eat random stuff, but they need that protein, right? They need that meat.
Yeah.
So dogs that were getting this extra stuff instead of kibble, they were living longer.
Makes sense.
Which we know.
Makes sense.
We know is good.
Scientifically backed.
Exactly. All right, next affiliate is Canine Super Supplements, the letter K, number 9, supersupplements.com. You can add this into your dog's food, whether it's kibble or raw. If you can't do raw for budgetary reasons, you can add in some Canine Super Supplements. It's super cost effective, gets you a lot of great benefits as well.
Oh, yeah.
So you've got a couple options that they have. They have the multivitamin, which helps your dog's immunity. And so we had a dog that had like a cut on it. And I was like, hey, add the multivitamin into its food to help enhance the healing of that cut. And it did.
Yeah.
The dog healed super quick.
Yeah.
So you can add that multivitamin in. You can add in the joint support to support your dog's joints, which every dog needs that. Just get that. At least get that.
Minimum.
You got the weight gainer if you have a hard gainer dog or a dog. Like we've had a couple dogs recently in training. They were found on the streets, malnourished.
Yeah.
We put them on the weight gainer. Boom. Good to freaking go, dude.
Beefy.
Good to go.
Yeah.
So it definitely works, right? Then we got the puppy formula. You can use that for puppies. You can use that for adult dogs. Doesn't matter. But it gets those critical nutrients to your dog.
It's all good shit.
It's all good.
That's what it boils down to.
Good for you.
It's all good
Good
shit.
for your dog. Cost effective.
Put it in your protein shake.
You can use discount code Canine Revolution, all caps, no spaces. That gets you 15% off your order, whatever you're ordering, right? So you're freaking good to go.
Hell yeah.
Last affiliate, we got JockoFuel. This is for you.
Hell yeah.
We talked about We Feed Raw. We talked about Canine Super Supplements. We're supporting our dog. We also need to support ourselves, because if we support ourselves, we're better at supporting our dog.
Hell yeah.
So you get JockoFuel, JockoFuel.com, discount code Canine Revolution, all caps, no spaces, 10% off. You get that milk protein. You got to hit your protein marks every day.
Yeah.
1 gram of protein per pound of body weight.
Yeah.
That milk's going to help get you there, right? You also want the Go Clean Energy drinks. You don't want no frickin' Celsius. You don't want no Monster.
Nope.
You don't want whatever else they got floating around. You want JockoFuel, right? Jocko Go.
C4.
Clean Energy, not good. C4, not good. You need hydrate, because we're in wintertime. Summertime's coming, right? You're going to be sweating more.
Yeah.
Right? Jocko Hydrate. Gets you those electrolytes that you need, those minerals that you need.
Yeah.
Right? So they got a bunch of stuff. You can go on there, replace your supplements that you're using right now with your JockoFuel supplements, because not only do you get the discount on them, but it's also better for you, and it's made in America.
You know what I just had to re-up on?
What?
Jocko Blueberry pre-workout.
Oh, yeah, dude.
I was jacked the F up
Yeah.
at the gym, bro.
Yeah.
Jocko hits hard.
It does hit hard.
He's also got peach pre-workout,
Mm.
and I think he's got like a strawberry flavor.
Well, they just
or something.
started fruit punch pre-workout.
Oh.
They got the fruit punch pre-workout. Yeah. But I'm on the
I'm
blue.
not really
I'm on the blue raspberry
Yeah, I'm
pre-workout.
not really a fruit punch guy.
I'll tell you what, though, most people don't know. Creatine, good for you.
Jocko?
Creatine, good for you. It helps you with your strength, helps you with your muscular performance. It also helps you cognitively.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure it helps because of its cognitive benefits. Helps with depression, helps with reducing your risk of dementia or Alzheimer's as time goes on. And most people, like 5 grams of creatine a day, which is 1 scoop of the Jocko creatine. That's like what they used to say is the baseline. But now new studies and new science is coming out. These new studies are saying that they worked with these older women. I think they were in their 60s and 70s. And they found that if they were taking up the 20 grams of creatine a day, it enhanced their cognitive abilities.
Damn.
So and I think with some people, creatine does disrupt your GI a little bit. So I think you got to figure out
I've heard that too.
somewhere between 5 grams and 20 grams, like what's going to be good for you. But I was on 5 grams a day when these new studies came out. I was looking at them. I'm like, dude, I'm going to 20. So I'm going to 20 grams.
Yeah.
Because I actually, through one of my blood tests, not to go off on a tangent here,
we go.
I did a blood test like 6 months ago that like checked some of my gene stuff, and I have a risk of dementia. I'm at like it's not like an elevated risk, it's like a moderate risk of dementia because I have a particular gene. And so anything I can do to help that, which is like, getting your proper omega-3 oils in, which I get with the Jocko fish oil.
Yep.
Right?
We're on Jocko.
We're on Jocko. But the Jocko fish oil plus salmon once a week or twice a week helps me get my omega-3s in. I also take a scoop of, flaxseed oil as well, or flaxseed. It's a scoop of ground flaxseed a day.
Yeah.
Get those omega-3s in. But that creatine, dude. Creatine helps get you there as well.
Yeah.
And then sleep. 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night. Vertical diet protocol. You should be getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep. All right. Not going off on a tangent.
Not going off
back to the JockoFuel. Get that JockoFuel creatine, because if you're doing the 5 grams a day, that one creatine thing, which is like $30, it lasts 90 days, which is a deal, dude.
Hell yeah.
But if you're doing
on top of that, discount.
Right, then you got the discount.
Yeah.
But if you're doing the 20 grams a day like I am now, which I do 10 grams in the morning with my pre-workout, and then I do 10 grams in the afternoon with my milk. Right?
Yeah.
So it's not going to last you 90 days.
No.
But anyway, JockoFuel's got what you need. Right? Creatine, don't sleep on it, dude. Get it.
Don't sleep on it. Get your sleep.
Get your sleep. But get your creatine implemented in your protocols.
Yeah.
So that you're good to go.
Yeah.
Right?
Jocko.
All right. Don't forget, check out the Canine Revolution Dog Training and the Pack Talk Podcast YouTube channels. Leave us a comment what you need. Leave us a comment what you want to see. Right? Don't forget, review us on your favorite podcast platform. We appreciate that. And anything else?
Shout out to our new subscribers on the Pack Talk YouTube channel. We've had some more people trickle in recently.
You like watching?
Hey, they're showing up.
Well, if you're watching today, you got to see the guineas in the background.
In action.
They just rolled out.
Yeah, they literally just took off, dude. It's so funny. They showed up in a pack.
Well, the guineas are a unit.
They were hanging out for like 20, 25 minutes, and then they're gone like the wind. They just took off and went down a trail, and they're gone, and we can't even hear them. Yeah.
They got to patrol for ticks. They got to patrol for fleas. They got to eat the pests. That's their job.
Yeah. They're working hard.
They got to work all day.
Yeah.
And they're watchdogs, too. If you watch the guineas, there's always at least one head up, keeping an eye out on the surroundings. The other ones get to eat, then they rotate who's on watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the hierarchy of the flock.
Oh, yeah.
Or the confusion.
Then if they got something to jump on, the watchdog will jump up to a higher elevation, keep an eye out. Boom.
Yeah, they like to be elevated.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
They're solid. And we got the jumbo guineas.
Oh, yeah.
Then we got the royal purple guineas.
I think I like the jumbos better.
So this spring, guess what? My jumbos and my royal purples intermingle. So now I get a jumbo purple guinea.
Crossbreeding.
Don't think I wasn't planning it.
Oh, shit.
It's been in the plans.
Oh, shit.
Then get my ostriches.
Here we fucking go. You don't need a damn ostrich, dude.
Anyway, back to the topic at hand. Thank you guys for the support. Let us know what you need. Let us know what topics you need. Let us know what you want to see. And we'll be good to go, right? So we appreciate you. And until next time, this is Pack Talk Podcast.